Today I'm talking about the album A Moonlit Night by EndDenial, which is my latest solo album. And it's basically the side B album or whatever to A Sunny Day. And the reason I did it that way is because I was kind of approaching writing music in a similar way, and that is by creating a loop that I like and then basically just jamming out to the loop and then adding stuff to it and subtracting stuff until it turns into something that sounds like a song. And this time for both albums I played all the instruments and wrote all the lyrics, and including the drums, which on my first EndDenial album, there's a lot of like electronic drums that I made with drum machines and stuff. So it's cool to actually hear me playing the drums on it. And the album, A Moonlit Night, I basically did like 1 or 2 takes for all the different parts, because I didn't want it to sound rough, but I wanted it to sound kind of like how it would sound if you were to like come see me doing it live, and try to get a good performance that I'm happy with, a performance that I feel like was sincere, and and then I just go with it. And I like all the little imperfections in my voice, and I like the fact that it doesn't have the perfect pitch. That's what it is. For the Sunny Day album and Moonlit Night album, I used the DP24 SD. And one thing that's different about that is it kind of forces you to do things more like the old school way, where it's more about having a good performance than it is piecing things together with a mouse. And I really am trying to do something that is genuine, and I want it to be like me, So I feel like the more I try to polish it and make it sound perfect, the more it starts to sound like something that isn't me, and I don't really like it as much. One thing that's kind of cool about one of the songs on this album is the Moonlit, or what is it called? I used my Boss RC505 on that one, and if you listen closely you can hear it where I kind of skip the track, or I'm like scratching it kind of. So it gave it a cool effect that I've never had on any other songs that I've recorded, and I think it made it turn out pretty interesting for that reason. And that album also features a new piece of equipment that I hadn't owned before, which is the Korg Monologue. And so there's some interesting little spots where I incorporate that. I feel like I only wanted to write lyrics that I really felt like I connected with, and that's one thing about some of my older songs, is I just like kind of freestyle writing, and then some of the stuff I ended up writing ended up actually in the songs, and maybe I would have revised some of those lyrics and changed certain parts to make it, make it fit who I am better. But sometimes things happen so quickly, it's like you don't even have a chance to really think about it to that extent. There's a song at the end of the album called Song of the Earth. My music teacher told me that the earth resonates in D minor. And so that song's in the key of D minor. And I also use a hand pan, or a couple hand pans, 2 different ones actually, in that song. And then there's samples from outer space of sounds that like NASA recorded from their satellites and stuff of what Earth sounds like from space. So those are the weird sounding little samples that I threw in there. So it's just supposed to be like a really tripped out, like floating in space sort of song. Not even necessarily supposed to be like a, you know, it was just supposed to be really free-flowing and not really too worried about structure or anything like that. I mean, this is basically an improvised album. Like nothing was written when I started it, and nothing was planned, and I'm trying to write stuff that speaks to me and something that you could throw on, you know, to relax to, or you could listen to it and kind of like really try to pick it apart, what the meaning might be. And it's one of the most positive albums I've come out with, and I'm proud of it for that. And I feel like it's positive in a way that I'm proud of, because it's not super cheesy, which to me has always been a problem when it comes to trying to write happy, positive sounding music, is to try to do it without it sounding too cheesy. It's been fun trying to pull myself in a different direction musically and create stuff that I can be proud of. And as far as making a good first impression, as I started out with earlier and kind of got off track, people are like, oh, whoa, this guy's different, you know? Because what's the fun in being just like everyone else, you know? So if I'm feeling like down and out and the weight of the world's on my shoulders, you know, I'm likely to write a song that reflects those feelings. And then when people hear that song, will recognize that that was me trying to like express those emotions in a positive way. And it could potentially even help them if they were struggling with certain issues that were, maybe it helped them release those feelings too. But my point is that I like doing a lot of different things. So, you know, trying to go in a more positive direction just in general, but that doesn't mean I'm still probably gonna make rap music and punk music and everything else, because I kind of go in circles with it all. Oh, really? Let's see if I can get it. Sounds like I'm peeing. Ah, yes. Okay, there's like a theme for this album of just trying to heal and take good care of yourself. Live in the moment. Be grateful for the things you have. I talk about the song Fight or Flight, a lot of us kind of live our lives in this fight or flight sort of mode, and how damaging it can be. Cassandra Corson did the artwork for the cover, and she did an amazing job. There's fireflies, reflecting off the water, and shooting stars, and owls were like in the trees and at all directions, and you could hear them. It was just a really magical experience, so I was trying to capture some of that in the song River Adventure. I wanted to do something that would help people feel better and feel hopeful, and in these times that seem so dreary, and this last year has been a real struggle to try to feel that way because of the pandemic and stuff. Just hoping that I can do what I'm capable of doing to try to put some positivity out in the world. Up until like a year ago, I wasn't really trying to create videos and put myself out there like I have been. And that brings up these feelings of like what am I doing? That I just like making music, and I want to be able to share it with people, and I want them to be able to hear it and enjoy it. And that seems to be quite a challenge. The music world's completely different than what it was when I was a kid. I mean, as far as where people get their content, how they get their content, what people are willing to pay for it. People don't even have CD players, and it seems like more people have record players now than CD players. So all I can say is a Moonlit Night. It's all about trying to bring awareness and appreciation to the little things in this world. Like the beauty of a little caterpillar, or a dragonfly, or a flower, or just like the sound of a river flowing. This can be really relaxing, I put a lot into what I do, and that I only do it if I feel like a real sincere drive to do it. I mean, I've taken like years off from music, so I was kind of waiting for that feeling of like inspiration to come back so I could do it, or waiting for the right time to have the right setup and all that. So I don't know, all it would take is a pandemic and for me to write some more music. So it's really good to think, to see therapists and go to therapy and learn some more about these things, because I don't think everybody takes the time to like really look at themselves for who they are and how they impact the world, and